Alright, welcome back to another trap guide. If you're watching this, you might not realize, but as a human, I haven't recorded one of these in about a month, but I schedule them. So the viewers haven't seen one of these in a couple weeks. If you're watching this in the future, none of this matters. Same disclaimers as always. These are not going to be super perfect, pristine, works in every mission builds. I might overbuild a little bit, but this is just sort of a general series on how I trap in these missions. And typically, I like to give little tips and ways that you can kind of expand into, other missions. You can figure it out for yourself, and that's why I like to overbuild. Better safe than sorry, but I try to be efficient at the same time. We're dealing with a category 4 here, and I have done more of these on the channel. Trap guides playlist link down below. Basic tunnels and all that will be there. So what we're dealing with, first thing you always want to check: exploding death bomb, lightning storm. Those are the important ones. Lightning storm means we will not be building out of metal, and death bomb means regular tunnels are going to be a little not great. I'm actually going to steal a little bit from, okay, Benz is being a turtle. I'm going to steal a little bit from Archer, actually, because he has been hyping up Blastotron defenders a lot, and I kind of want to try it out. So let's just put up the general cones and get it going. I usually like to record these in one take because, cutting them together takes a ton of extra work, and these aren't the most popular videos on my channel. Also, I kind of just like to chill out with you guys and go through the process together. This is actually a really good set of 160s this week because we just saw that it is a Survivor Supercharger, and I am very happy about that. I wish we could have Battle Royale servers when I did this editing, but unfortunately we can leave one open. Say the world doesn't always get the best ones. So, let's clear the way. I'm going to make some people shiver. I have enough energy cells to do this, but this is probably the most expensive way to do that. Speaking of energy cells, I'm going to actually grab the... I'm going to waste energy cells emptying out this house, and then also do that. Also, something that wasn't a thing in the old videos, we now have a utility slot. Yay! I'm so happy for this, because you guys know I love coconuts, and having this in a, not weapon slot is super convenient. So, I believe these spawns out here to be real. They will probably get utilized. I'm going to make a very basic... This is probably overkill. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Very basic tunnel like this. Just in case anything walks through, they'll just get sent into the pit. This is probably fine. I'm not going to worry about that too much. But again, I need to reiterate death bomb. But what we can do is kind of just wait it out a little bit. So what I mean is, even though it's death bomb, we can still put a little bit of floor freeze action, and I think honestly this is fine. I'm building out of metal when I usually don't, because of course we want these to be very, very robust. And I'm going to put defenses a couple tiles high. I'm not sure, actually, because we are in a nature storm this season, I can pretty comfortably just get rid of all of my nature ceiling electric fields for a while, because nature is going to be our element for the next couple months, and I think this is going to be completely fine. But yeah, these 4 should be enough to just soften anything up. I'm going to make this little cheaper than usual, just because we can probably kill things as they come through, and death bomb really only happens from the husky husks, so this can soften up the husky husks, kill off all the babies, and then we can kill anything big that makes it through. And like I mentioned earlier, the Blastotron defenders are going to be really fun to play with, and I think a Walry always runs constructor anyway, so we're going to be fine. She's been under the weather regardless, so she's probably going to be taking it easy. I'm trying to think of a way to put down a defender without relying on this, because these little edited walls, by the way, this is like the first thing to get destroyed when you make defenders, and I just want it to be a little more robust. So what I'm thinking is I can defend it on the back end like that, because I don't want to do the full walls because it usually gets in the way. But obviously I want to upgrade these as well, because I want these defenders to stay where they are. I'm overthinking this probably, but I want the defenders to not die. And Blastotron defenders need to be kind of front and center. So we're going to put one here and probably upgrade this wall when it's done. And I think A and B probably where we're going to get most of our attention. So I'm just going to build up a wall just like this, build it up over here, and because I want them to actually defend the top of this, I think I'm just going to put 2 defenders like so. and the obvious thing is we're going to be using Blastitron defenders. I am covering all of this, so while I craft more, I can actually show you what we're working with here. The idea with these is that defenders do not have the 3-second cooldown. This is the ring version, so 7 projectiles explode when you crit every 3 seconds. Defenders, evidently, it does not appear as though they have that cooldown, so they can kind of just crit whenever they crit, and in my experience, only about 300 shots. 400 is super overkill, is all they're really going to fire, and so these are going to be super effective. This only has 1 supporting wall. I am not comfortable with that, so we're just going to connect it as much as we can. Oh my goodness. What are they shooting at? Probably a crow. But yeah, they'll be able to crit way more often than usual, than a player would, and it makes them very effective. So I'm going to put one down over here as well, and see where we can put some anti-air traps, and then see where future traps will be necessary. Awari wanted to be in this video, so she told us to queue it up here, and I'm glad she could join us. All right. So this section's completely fine. Animals still set off traps in this current version of the game. I'm not sure if that's going to be true forever, but it kind of is what it is. Because of the field here, this is because I can, don't necessarily do what I'm doing here, but because I can afford it, I feel like I just want to do a field, a field of floor freeze. Thank you for the Prime sub, Dubs Flick. I do record these during streams. This is probably overkill. I'm going to say this right now because people get all up on my ass in the comments of these videos. 3x2, probably overkill. Because it's exploding death bomb and I haven't trapped in a long time and I'm just being safe. I'm doing 2 wide. 1 wide, 1x2 is almost always enough. 1x3 is usually perfectly fine. But I want to leave this nice and open, and I'm kind of leaving it a little redundant, expecting these to blow up. So I'm just going to do this field. Not to mention, there are a lot of spawns over here, a lot of spawns. So this is going to get used up a lot, and twice the traps, you know, gives us twice the amount of coverage. I doubt we're going to hit the durability, but, you know, there you go. And then A is nice and open. This is going to be, wow, this defense is really casual, honestly. There is a defense over here, like a little bit of a walking section. Just going to put a couple of wall launchers. That'll send almost everything off if they don't get killed by the defenders. And we're going to switch to brick just for basic funneling. I think this should be fine. I'm not certain if they're going to walk up this ramp over here. It looks like there are spawns down here, but they can't actually get up. So I doubt anything's going to come this way. I'm going to pretend like they won't. And then even if they do, I can just block it off like this. And, you know, this might be a little overbuilt. But yeah, I know a lot of people like to defend close to the defense. That's typically the most effective way. I know Awari, when she grinds Ventures, being the #1 XP Ventures player in the world, typically puts a bunch of ceiling electric fields on the pyramid, and that's generally enough. I don't know. Maybe I'm more traditional. I prefer to funnel. That's just the way I like to do it. I've been pretty easy on the wall traps, by the way, knowing that, you know, it's dub bomb. I'm sorry, Awari, but it's just how I like to play. This has always been fine, even if it's a little expensive. Man, I'm really hung up on the expense part, but I don't know. I got a lot of mean comments. It really stuck with me. But this is how I like to do it, and this should be plenty. It's just important to upgrade these as well, because they will definitely break. In fact, I'm going to double up down here and just make sure these are super strong. The reason I'm doing this is actually another Category 4 guide on my channel, where I set everything up, and the floor freeze just survived. It was super good. In fact, next mission, I'm kind of curious. We should do like a more defensive build. Rather than walls like this, we should do just putting the traps on the defense itself. It's tried and true, but it's a lot more work from the player, so it might not always work in the public missions. And that's a thing that a lot of people forget. They want me to do these super hyper efficient endurance level builds, but then they forget the fact that, like, I want people to be able to successfully play pubs. Upgrading this is probably unnecessary, by the way, but I'm just being a little overzealous. All right, I think I'm just going to stop here and then prep for the spawn shift. If Sirius wants to go ahead and start it... Oh, he's far away. He's the one with the blue glow, so I guess we can just wait for him. I have a quest to do over there. I'm gonna go take care of that. Even if I'm recording a video, you know, you gotta get stuff done. By the way, if you jump at the same time, it sends you extra far. I think I'm 4 out of 5 on this. I am. So there we go. Got that taken care of, and the game begins. All right. Like I suspected, this is going to be a high traffic area. The traps are probably going to handle pretty much everything. Benz is killing stuff. That's fine. That's normal in a typical mission. It looks like we got a heavy target over here. Oh, I think it's just a regular... Yeah. I'm running the Cloud Burst, which is actually a really strong bow. And I'm running Totally Rocking Out because I've been having more fun with that. Yeah, looks like this defense is holding up fine. Everything's spread out really nice and thin. And I put double traps where I knew the most traffic would be. And it looks like that is exactly what's happening. So, yeah. I could have played to the strengths of the defenders a little bit more. But defenders are expensive and kind of a backup option in my mind. They're using energy ammo. And I'd rather they not be in play unless absolutely necessary. Also, by the way, the ability with Farah activates with the cloud from the Cloud Burst, and it's pretty nice. One thing I didn't mention in this video, by the way, I've been placing all these floor freezes backwards like this because they will, look, well, if something survives long enough to be unthawed, they will stagger backwards, and depending on where you're placing it. So if he unthaws, you'll see him stagger this way. Oh my goodness, well, he would have staggered. So they stagger to your back. I hope that was clear, but I've explained it a lot in the other videos, so I hope that will be of use to somebody someday. It looks like something is kind of ignoring my walls here. This is probably an easy fix. We can just kill them off like this and then do that. That should dissuade any future travelers. Looks like the very first tunnel I set up over here is doing fine. Something did make it in the death pit, which is great. I did predict that a few extra enemies would go on this way, and it looks like they are getting dealt with in that pit nice and easily. I can clean that up just fine. I've always said that you should never be afraid to kill enemies, which sounds weird, but in these trap guides, I like to show you guys how to trap, but what I'm really showing you is how to handle these missions. You know, it's almost like they're sneakily disguised as a trap guide, when in reality, this is just a general mission guide on top of all, and that's why I said earlier, with like, Benz was killing stuff with the Xenon bow. Typically, I like to show off the traps, but in a real normal mission, Benz would be shooting stuff with the Xenon bow. And just like I am, hopping around shooting stuff with my bow, because the flingers here like to be away from the traps sometimes, and it looks like he's just walking straight in. That is super convenient. Oh, not missing the jump. Oh, no. Oh, you know what? I want ammo. I am shamelessly going to grab as much ammo as I can. Yeah, this is super easy. Ugh. Is he just gonna get... Here, I'll wait for him to get frozen. I figured I'll wait for him to freeze, that way I'll do more damage. So the defender can't shoot through the wall. This is where Team Obliterator wins a point, but, you know, I could shoot him myself. It's not really a big deal. And this is where I might want to try defensive builds next game, because we ran base and upgraded all these walls, and then it's barely mattered because nothing made it to the walls. The only thing that's really going to get close to the base is the mini-boss, but the way I see it, you're only really running 10-160s a week, and this sort of trappage is more than fine. Whew. This works for Astrobat defenders too. I wonder if that's worth it. Holy fuck, he finally grabbed the cells. Did you put cells down, Benz? Well, I don't... You know, I could craft more. I just wanted to loot them naturally, Benz. Look, now there are cells on the ground, and I can't pick them up. Oh, there's 1.1 thousand over here. Is somebody gonna grab these? Serious? AWOLry? Does somebody want these energy cells? I don't want them to go to waste. Although you've been grinding endurance. How much ammo do you have on hand, Benz? Are you not gonna talk? Are you gonna type in Twitch chat instead of talking to me?
You're recording.
You not want to be on YouTube? Benz, the people love you.
I have a lot.
You have a lot. That's typical of people who grind endurance. They just run through and pick up all the loot on the ground and just wind up with tens of thousands of this stuff.
No, I have a lot of batteries.
Oh. I thought you'd have energy cells too.
10,000 batteries.
Well, that's enough. I kind of want to just loot someday, you know? It's never happened though. I kind of hope I go broke in this game so that I'm inspired to do that. My traps died. What do I do? Honestly, I think we're fine. Between us running around and the defenders being strong, we're chilling. We're gonna do just fine. It looks like the floor freeze have been staying as well. Oh, right as I say it, huh? I should probably have been upgrading these. I'm sorry, Walry. I didn't think to upgrade them. It seems like if you're willing to do some maintenance and not necessarily AFK your mission, like building max walls and floor freeze in a death bomb mission is probably fine. Although generally running around the defense is not recommended. What do we got over here? Tank water frenzied building blocker. Oof. I'll use a hemlock. Everybody should probably focus on the mini boss. Ugh. Oh, I got totally rocking out active too. Nice. We're actually making good progress now. The hemlock's 5 hits cause an explosion. Basically add 14% extra damage to this thing, and it's awesome. And of course, aim for the head for bonus damage on top of that. My traps are activating my totally rocking out. Oh, it's beautiful. What a wonderful combination. Somebody just asked me in chat if they should voucher the hemlock, and this is my answer. This is me saying yes. What's the bow called? What's the bow that AWOL? She uses the night owl for some reason. I don't know why.
How dare you?
I'm sorry, AWOL. I just don't see it. Well, that's the mini boss down. That's essentially the hardest part of the mission taken care of. Oh no. Who knew that shielders would be the hardest mission? I floated the idea of doing what goes through shielders video, and people were really receptive to it. It seems like that's something people want. But the reality of testing every worthwhile weapon to see if it goes through a shielder is tough. I don't need to test everything. There are a lot of weapons that I already know, but there are some weapons I don't know. That surprised me. Like there are different levels of pierce. I believe there are 4. One is no piercing at all. You hit a target and the projectile dies. The second is going through enemies, which is kind of what the Coco 45 does. That's exactly what the Coco 45 does. Then there are it depends on which one you want to choose as the third one, but that would be shielders or walls themselves. And walls count as riot huskies. They are essentially carrying an environment item with infinite health. So shielders is another thing, and then there are items that go through everything. That's kind of what the Xenon bow is so popular for. The Xenon bow, the neon sniper, the ghost pistol, I believe are the 3 items. I'm probably missing one. Those sound in my mind as the 3 items in the entire game that go through everything. Walls, shielders. You know what? The ghost pistol might not go through shielders, come to think of it. See, this is why this is a video that this is why this is a video that needs to happen. Oh, she told me to come here. What do you want, Iwari? I'm sorry. I didn't see. Well, anyway, hopefully that was helpful. I got a little sidetracked at the end there, but you know, stay tuned for the next one. I'm gonna try a defensive build where instead of building tunnels, we just sort of build closer to the base and see what happens. Oh yeah, Obliterator. That can shoot through shielders and enemies, but it destroys walls. It doesn't shoot through walls. No, but it does shoot through player wall, dude. Yeah, it shoots through like player walls, but not. It's a whole video. It's a whole video. I'll see you guys next time.